Hello, gamers. We are going to be doing some shiny hunting. We've been looking for a shiny Hisuian Pokemon. We've done 900 encounters. It's been, you know, it's shiny hunting. This is the day after Christmas, aka Boxing Day, or perhaps Pokeboxing Day. Dun, 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 dun. Ugh. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Nyler. I've basically only just gotten up. So I'm a little quiet still. Get ready for this over the next couple of days. Us being kind of quiet while streaming sometimes. So we're really hoping for Hisuian Zoroark. We'll take basically anything here. There are like a couple of things that I don't really want here. But you know, if they're shiny, I will take them. They will probably be at least mildly useful for one of our teams. Like, even if they're awful, you know, they're like sack fodder. They're trade fodder. Dun, 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 dun. If you really want a Zoroark, we maybe want a Sneasler. Basculegion wouldn't be too bad. I would take a Typhlosion. We, of course, already have a Goodra. Braviary we've already had. Oshawott we've already had. Or, you know, Samurott. Hi, Seraph. I'd head for a long drive to visit family, but happy Pokeboxing Day to you. Well, happy Pokeboxing Day to you as well. I hope your drive is good. Just here, we're queer. We're doing some shiny hunting, about to hit 1,000 encounters. I also did learn that you can actually catch a legendary in Altering Cave once a day. It's not just that you can encounter one once per day. The encounter lock allows you to capture one once a day. I'm a little back and forth. I don't feel like that's, if the game is letting me, it's maybe not the worst thing to do. It almost feels better in some ways to do a shiny hunt in that cave to get my expert legendary. We'll see that shiny eventually. We're at about half odds right now. The Sneasler. I'd really rather not have an Avalugg, I don't think. I'd rather not have a Quillfish. I'd rather not have one of the ones that I've had already. Okay. I hit the wrong button. Okay. So Claudia's gonna be starting her Detroit run tomorrow. What does a shiny Avalugg look like? I think it has orange. Hisuian is ice and rock. Huh. Interesting. Easy peasy. We'll also probably do some team planning today. I don't know if we will do the rival fight. Ursulina really wants to be my friend. Oh my god, let me leave. Careful. Okay. So I'm wearing some new jammies that our mother got us. Oh wow, you cannot like see me at all. Hang on. Try this. Hey Google, turn the lights to 100%. Yeah, it's a little better. But yeah, I'm wearing some nice green plaid jammies. Da, 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 da. All right, 1100. I feel like I'm seeing a lot more Ursalunas today. And remember, let's all remember we're doing this shiny hunt because we want to give ourselves the best possible chance of beating this game. Dun, 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 dun. Hey, Rizolga. It's going well. We're doing shiny hunting. I still haven't decided whether I want to keep that Pheromosa that I caught last night yet or not. I have a save state in which I caught it. But yeah, we're doing the hunt. We're up to 1,156 encounters. So not too shabby. How are you today, Brazilva? Did you have a good Christmas? If you celebrate? If you didn't, did you have a good December the 25th? To be fair, in my mind, Altering Cave gives an legendary every day, but the encounter lock still applies. I may have to quote-unquote fix that soon. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. Where, like, if I went and wanted to go shiny hunt there, I feel that is legitimate. But just going and picking up another legendary feels a little like... It feels against the spirit of this, you know? Mine was relaxing. How about yours? I wouldn't describe myself as celebrating. That's fair. It was nice, you know? Open presents. Called our mother. Had a nice dinner. Some barley risotto with our partner. Watched the 1960s Grinch and Muppet Christmas Carol. Then Oak and V watched their final Adam Sandler movie, Happy Gilmore 2. Happy Gilmore to you all. Which they're going to talk about on stream tonight. Oh, we could listen to their original episode. To refresh our minds here. I'm glad that PokeLink down there has a has an option for shiny Pokemon. I like seeing our shiny Mimikyu down there. But yeah, it was a pretty relaxing Christmas. Next time. I'm quite sleepy today. Should maybe make myself some breakfast. On shiny Zoroark, not Voltorb or Electrode. Hi Niels, how are you? How was your holiday? Very relaxing, I'm glad. Therapist lurking but can't talk right now because of driving. I see. Yeah, it's nice. We always like the holidays. And it's been overall a really nice year for us. You know, we had bottom surgery. We graduated with honors. We got to see our partners a lot, and you know, even picked up a new one. Got to see our friends so much. We did some good art and had it like publicly recognized. Still need to talk to that local coffee house about maybe doing a show of Susan's stuff. I'm receiving text messages. Yeah, we watched The Grink and Muppet Christmas Carol very good time yesterday. The Grink was there. Hey, can we talk about the Grink? Because, honestly, I think the Grinch is right to be upset if every year... Which version? The 60s one. The good one. If every year this town makes enough noise that he can hear it from on top of a mountain miles outside of town. I think that's fucked up. Let the man sleep. Yeah, he was in the right. And then the Who's try and take the moral high ground, like, oh, it doesn't matter. What matters is that we're all together. We didn't have to be assholes every year. We just chose to be. Which is not the reading you're supposed to get out of the Grinch. What matters is that we're all together. Local town that excludes one hermit. Yeah, they really hate that guy. Well, I guess they don't really hate him in the book or the cartoon. In the movie, they hate that guy. Because he had a beard in kindergarten. Look at that hack job! $1,300 encounters. Ba-da-da-da. Now that we have Mimikyu, I was saying to Sylvie last night, I'm kind of tempted to bring Altaria to the rival fight. Because it's good, and if we lose it, we do still have another fairy. And because it's dragon type, it resists a lot of what Perrin is bringing. In its mega form, it resists water, grass, fire, electric. Dragon is immune to. It's weak against poison, steel, and ice. So I think that it's a good potential pick for the team. Hey, do you think Victini can learn, like, Guillotine or Fisher or any of those moves, because I just remember that Victini's ability is it gets an extra 10% accuracy, and then I could put a wide scope on it. Just have Victini go out there with like a 50-50 Fisher. Return, Sacred, Toxic, Thunderwave, Endure, Frustration. Taunt, Trick Room. Bling. Sadly, no. Damn. Rock Ice seems like such like very weak typing. I guess it makes you like resistant to rock. I'm so glad that we have the fast forward function. Because, remember, every hour that we do this is 5 in-game hours on fast forward. Me leave. Okay. I don't know if I've said this on stream yet, but the peak stream we did with Moonshot, where it was Philomena, Beth, Pat, and Izzy. Being Philomena for 3 hours, very tiring. Very high energy in many ways. I did enjoy doing it though. I thought it was fun to explore that character in an improv setting, or like an extended improv setting. I got to learn a lot about her, you know? I got to explore what her family life is like, or I guess her married life. It was a fun time. I always like playing Peak with that crew. And favorite improv moments for me about Philomena's home life is probably her saying that her partner says that she's quite a character. He says to me, "Philly, you're quite the character." That's not her voice. I'm doing a half-ass version. But I like the idea that her partner calls her Philly. also think that, Philomena does consider Beth to be family. After 13 years of, very close employment. Whether Beth considers that back is, debatable. Considering that Beth, definitely chooses not to... Come on. Are you kidding me? Let me go. There we go. Definitely chooses to not tell Philomena that she has a girlfriend. Instead calling her her roommate. To her queer boss. Yeah, Beth seems to understand healthy boundaries better. But will take a free vacation to the Virgin Islands with her. I kind of think the post that I made of, like, you know, a party with almost all of my family makes me almost feel fulfilled. I think that's both about her son and about Beth not being there. Yeah, free trip is a free trip. I really enjoyed doing unhinged posting with her. I liked getting to beat Beth for one of those days as well. The Evergreens were saying that Beth's posting had Susan energy. The posts were always a hoot, thank you. Genuinely hard to believe there was no ARG involved. Sometimes an extended bit is an ARG in a way. Maybe the ARG was the friends that Philomena made on the internet. Yeah, an ARG was too much work, not something that we were ever going to do. 1,450 encounters. But it was fun to film those little interstitials at ground control. Brought my suit there, and all weekend I was like, Martin, we gotta find time to film these. And we filmed them after everything was done. We filmed them like the evening after we wrapped. And I don't think Marn or Mac were expecting the voice. It's awesome how Moonshot will just facilitate silly bits like Philomena Hanukkah stuff just because it makes you guys laugh. Exactly. I really, I led everything with that character. I had very little input from anyone else. I basically told Marn and everyone, like, you know, I named Sunstone Studios because I was like, well, Claudia did. Because Sunstone is, like, very, very occasionally a pseudonym that we will use for ourselves. Like, it's another gem. Then, you know, came up with the whole character. All of that, everything in those videos is improvised. Oh yeah, and I basically said, by the way, Philomena will be showing up for like 2 minutes at least on every one of these streams. Like, it won't be terribly intrusive. And everyone was just like, okay. Everyone seemed to like it, which felt good. Thank you for saying it was always funny. I think the one time they genuinely got me to break was Juliet really caught me off guard with having not just with having Philomena as a character in their Pokemon game, but specifically that the dialogue opened with, "It's me, Philomena Sunstone of Sunstone Studios." Like, you're paying attention, Juliet, you know. As a variety show, but it was so much fun. I'm glad. I worry about those things when I'm like, yeah, Juliet is detail oriented. Oh my god, can I leave? Thank you. The Hisuian Zor, or not, the Hisuian Electrode is so annoying. Yeah, but I do always have anxiety about, like, I'm essentially enforcing this bit on anyone who wants to stream, but everyone wants to play, is the thing. And that's one thing I love about this group. Yeah, if you have a playing bit, other people will want to play in that space. So true. Okay, but what did you guys think about the real voice reveal at the end of the peak stream? Because I was looking forward to doing that bit. I think it got a little bit talked over, but that's okay. The what? Damn. When she gets a call from her son, she picks up the phone, she's like, "Hi. No, yeah, I have plenty of time to talk. Okay, let me just hang up with my business associates here. And then you've got me for a couple of hours." And then goes right back into the voice. Which raises all sorts of questions. It answers some questions. Which questions? I guess the question of, like, why Philomena's spouse calls her a character is so true. You know, we all wear masks in our workplace in many ways. Yeah, like pretending not to be a fucking gremlin. So true. Donkey, donkey, donkey. I also think her improvised line of, or my improvised line of, being married for 37 years but together for 6 raises some interesting questions. That I feel the answer is that she had, like, essentially an arranged marriage, but actually wound up liking their spouse and getting together for romantic reasons and not just business reasons. But they had taken a break at some point. Okay, that is actually very funny as well. That is, I was gonna say it's less romantic, but maybe it's more romantic. They made it work. They came back to it. Yeah, I like the idea that they're happily together now. I also found it, like, legitimately kind of touching to me when Riley on the House Flipper stream, I mentioned, Philomena mentions her estranged son. Riley is like, and as an estranged son myself, I must say what you were saying was very inspiring. Or I really liked what you were saying, or something like that. I was like, oh. I see many of us have mommy issues here. A fun yes and moment, yeah. I had daddy issues, but yeah, we have more daddy issues now. Which is why we called our mother on Christmas and not our father. Honestly, Marn's saying, like, in the Favorite Things stream, like, playing pretend with her friends is one of the best things of her year. I have to agree. We've enjoyed playing pretend with Marn. And with all of our friends, really. Honestly, it feels good to have so many creative friends. So many friends generally. Like, you know, Susan's professor said that, one thing she was, like, really struck by looking at Susan's book was just how many friends she has. How many friends we have. And it's like, yeah. And, you know, we were watching Muppet Christmas Carol last night, and if you want to know the measure of a man, you simply count his friends. I think it says a lot about us. Yeah, the Muppets are always spouting wisdom. Who did the lyrics for that? Was that Paul Williams? Screenplay written by Jerry Jewell. Damn, Muppet Christmas Carol only earned $27 million at the box office. That's a crime. But it did more than half, or more than double its budget, so. Production. Soundtrack? Yep, of course, it's Paul Williams. Yeah. I mean, how can it not be Paul Williams? He's, like, one, the Muppet guy, and also just such a brilliant songwriter. I mean, all of the Muppet songs, Phantom of the Paradise, other things. He was in an episode of Babylon 5 one time. Okay, here's the real debate. Something that brings up a lot of controversy about the Muppet Christmas Carol. What do you guys think about the cut song? The scene that was fully filmed and then cut. And of course, I mean, Belle singing "The Love Is Gone." That was not in the theatrical version, but was added to the VHS. It was cut from the theatrical version because Eisner said, "This sucks." And I have to say, Eisner is right. The scene grinds the film to a screeching halt. It kills any momentum in the past segment. I think the song is very plotting. I think that it's a song from a character that we literally will never see again, and will basically never be relevant again. Like, yes, it is a crucial part of Scrooge's backstory, and I'm very thankful that they didn't do the thing that occasionally Christmas Carol productions will do, which is bring Belle back. And it's like, no, she left him like 35 years ago. She's not coming back. Yeah, she had her own life. She might be dead. We don't know. She's probably been happily married for a long time. Or maybe unhappily married, but still content. We are now at 1,700 encounters. Or happily spinster, aka lesbian now. So true. The arguments I've heard for keeping the song are like it's important for the reprise The Love We Found at the End. Which I get, but I don't think it matters that much. Like in it's hard to talk about a play when the name of the play is a slur, unfortunately. But the Stephen Sondheim play Gypsy, about famed burlesque actress Gypsy Rose Lee and her mother. And her sister, I guess, too, but her sister leaves halfway through the play. The end, during Rose's turn, has a bunch of has a callback line to like every song in the show, while Rose has her huge breakdown, and which fantastic play, by the way. And there was a song that was cut from the original production, has really never been added back in, which is Mama's Talkin' Soft. And in Rose's turn, at one point she says, Mama's talking loud. And it's like, it doesn't matter that you didn't hear that song. Maybe you don't get it, but do you need to 100% get every single line of a song? The reason that they cut the song was that the original choreography for it, like, needed the two girls up on, like, a high-rise or something. And one of the actresses was, like, really afraid of heights, so they just cut the song. I mean, when you already have Everything's Coming Up Roses, Let Me Entertain You, All I Need Is the Girl, Gotta Get a Gimmick. What do you need Mama's Talking Soft? Actor safety and welfare over songs every day. Exactly. But anyway, the Muppets. I also think the song is just not shot or performed very interestingly. It's a very static looking song in a movie musical. The background isn't really interesting. It's just kind of like a snowy lake. Yeah, they're like, she's kind of walking around the park bench the whole time. And like, I heard somebody once say that like Rizzo, the reaction of going right into Rizzo sobbing after makes no sense. It's like, it's emotional still. Like, I mean, I think that the scene kind of becomes very cutting, where you know, Ebenezer says, like, I love you, Belle. And she says, you did once, and walks away. I think it's effective. I think it was a rare Michael Eisner W. That and cutting what is basically the entire second act of The Lion King, where he like goes and fights some monkeys and stuff for a while. Because Eisner rightfully pointed out, hey, what happens in this scene? Or like in these scenes? And the answer is nothing. Which is why The Lion King is paced kind of weird, because they cut a lot of that movie. Alright, 1800 encounters. We're rapidly approaching odds. Remember, we're hoping for a Zoroark, we're hoping for a Sneasler. I'll take a Lilligant, I'll take a Typhlosion. I'd rather not have one of the ones I've already... that I already currently have. I would rather not have ones that, like, I had and lost. Which, you know, includes Lilligant, but still. I'll take Ursaluna. Because I could always use some bulk. I'd take Basculegion. I gotta say, I've seen some shiny hunting reactions in my day, right? I don't understand people who, like, scream at the top of their lungs. I mean, like, just kind of generally. I think the loudest I've ever come in excitement about a game, a positive result of a game, was when I got chip 3 in a row in Trickshot Simulator. Which it was like 3 in the afternoon, I had Sylvie on call with me. And the last chip like went in, it was like spinning in the last cup. And I went, that's in, that's in, that's in! Sylvie, that's in! Except louder than that. So this is why JD parents your rival. Jay doesn't like scream though. Jay just is loud. Jay just speaks loudly. Yeah, hence why that's a joke. I know. I'm autistic, so I do have to actually answer the question. That's my contract with my brain and social cues. Yeah, I don't enjoy the sound of screaming generally. And it's like, your microphone is not set up to account for screaming usually. Like, one thing I always appreciate about streamers who actually don't really do much anymore because they've just kind of moved on. Far From Subtle, aka Awesome Video Games or Video Games Awesome Live, was that the main guy put a lot of work into their tech stuff, and honestly, like, that's where we learned, like, the importance of some of this shit that, like, you don't think about in a good stream. Like, you know, dynamic compression. Where they would often, like, scream and stuff, but it would never, like, peak the microphone or anything, even though they're all wearing lav mics and stuff. Because that guy was good at sound. Shout out to Fraser Agar. Which is why I am usually in charge of Moonshot in-person live event sound. I was actually kind of, I was kind of pissed when I found out at the postmortem that, they took off some of my filters without telling me. Someone saying, like, oh, the ducking's too aggressive. Like, I'm sorry, like, you really needed to hear all the Sonic racing sound effects? The show is us talking over the game, you know? In fact, I think that's a good argument for just, like, lowering the sound generally, just keeping it pretty low. Yeah, it's not cool to do to your sound design. Like, I wish somebody had told me so I could adjust it instead of just turning it off and never mentioning it. Because what if you turned off something that was actually, like, holding some of those filters together? Load-bearing settings. Some of them are. The volume of this one is slightly louder. There we go. And, you know, as autistic people, we are always very concerned about sound levels. Please know that for interstitial investigations, we were like the sound director on that too. We went in, we listened to every episode we did not edit, and said, hey, Susan is too quiet, Max is too quiet. You need to bring them up to the levels of Riley and Wheels, or you need to bring Riley and Wheels down. Hey, the music is 15 decibels quieter than Riley's intro. And so when you turn up the volume for the intro music, you get blasted out by Riley. Important notes, yeah. I made a couple of directorial ones too, where there is a moment in one of the final episodes where Susan figures out who did it, like during a conversation, and goes, "Hey, wait a minute, like you guys didn't get that," but the original version had her still saying that, and Riley put in like a Metal Gear Solid "You've Been Found" noise, like the blurp. And we told them to take out Susan saying that and to take out that sound effect because it takes away from Nancy doing her big reveal talk afterwards with Johnny. Quite frankly, we're ruthless editors on podcasts. We take out ums, we take out uhs, we take out long pauses. Anything that messes with the flow, we take it out because we come from the world of YouTube. We don't do retention editing. We're not like Mr. Beasting all these podcasts here, but we keep it at a good pace. We know when to keep a longer pause, and we know when to shorten that pause. Just because something might be funny doesn't mean it works well with the emotional weight of the scene, exactly. And we'll do work when people are like talking over each other generally. Like there are plenty of moments in like the first 4 episodes of the podcast, which we edited, where multiple people said things over each other. We pulled those apart in Audacity. Because, like, each of those comments is funny, but they all get lost. I appreciate the appreciation on the ruthlessness. And honestly, you can thank V Evergreen for some of it. Because her commentary, or her like production notes on the Beatles video was kind of crucial in cementing that style, in like, this doesn't work, cut it out. This is balanced weird. Fix it. This pause is too long. I'll thank her tonight on the Sandler stream. Let's go. Also, that is something that we can do if we get bored of music here. We can listen to the original Happy Gilmore episode. Because it's Happy Gilmore 2 tonight, the final Adam Sandler movie for now. Oak and V have been talking about like what they want to do next. Oak suggested Wes Anderson, but he and V agreed that the show works better when they dislike the movie. And like, or dislike the creator overall. That way, like, diamonds in the rough really stand out. And it's really fun to tear a movie to pieces. V, either last night or the night before, suggested Jim Carrey. Oh, we love Wes Anderson in this household. They're great films. We need to catch up with him. We haven't seen the last couple. But the problem with Jim Carrey, though, is that it's hard to... Hang on. Jim Carrey filmography. I'm gonna read out... Ugh. I'm gonna count out how many films he has. Because he hasn't directed or written any. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44 films. That is double what Adam Sandler has if you only do ones that were written and starring him. It's too much. You would have to narrow it down in some way. It's hard to say how you would do that. What's your criteria? Have you seen the original Birdemic / others in that genre? We have seen the original Birdemic. It's very boring. Nicolas Cage isn't bad. Considering the range of great movies to terrible. Ooh, true. Filmography. Oh, that's even more. That's even more movies, unfortunately. I guess we could do ones where he gets, like, top billing. Top billing would be interesting. Unfortunately, the Sandler movies were just easier to qualify. Like, I don't know, we could also do, like, Rob Schneider. Call it We Want Rob. Robbing Oak to pay V. Isn't that basically what he's known for, having really big swings between movies? Yeah, true. No, I agree. Because Nick Cage, I believe I've heard, is very bad with money. So he just kind of takes whatever he can get. And he clearly has fun doing it, so... Jim Carrey has some wild swings, too. Whereas, like, most of the Adam Sandler movies are just kind of bad. Or at least the ones in our criteria. Jim Carrey is, like... has been in some really good stuff. Like, Truman Show is like, a legitimately brilliant film. Same with... let's say... Eternal Sunshine? That's Charlie Kaufman. Rob Schneider watched Surf Ninjas. Oh, Surf Ninjas. Yeah, Truman and Spotless Mind. Oakenby watched all of the Charlie Kaufman movies a while back, a couple of years ago. Which, all of those are very good overall. Like, is Synecdoche, New York the best film? No, but it's interesting. Like, you know, Being John Malkovich is a strange film, in many ways. But if Being John Malkovich is like having a nice sip of Charlie Kaufman wine, Synecdoche, New York is like butt-chugging a 40 of Charlie Kaufman. Or injecting Charlie Kaufman right into your veins. Oh, we are officially past odds on this shiny hunt. We're at 2,060. Hang on. 9. I saw, I think it was a Tumblr post that was like, how to get intergenerational appeal. And it was like 68 plus or minus 1. Because I believe the kids like saying 6, 7. Which I'm not even going to pretend to understand that one. And remember, without fast forward, our shiny hunt today has lasted about 7 hours. With it, it's been an hour and a half. Because this goes at 5 times speed. Oh my god, let me go. Thank you. Let's go back to the Pokemon Center to, like, heal. Dun, 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 dun. I know your meme says that 6'7" was a TikTok meme that references a song by Skrilla that says 6'7", then segues into a basketball player who's 6'7" talking about his height. That's it? Skrilla is relevant in 2025? Was Skrilla ever really relevant? Spun out from there, but also, yeah? Huh. You release a new song, then? Ah. I'm just as baffled as you are, yeah. What a strange world. Hang on, girlfriend check. I think one girlfriend is out with friends today. The other we have spoken to. Kids these days don't even get the Vine reference anymore. So true. Yeah, they should be having fun. You know, we've also thought about doing some Microsoft Flight Sim streams. Because we did get that. It was on sale for finally enough that we were like, okay, we can get this 5-year-old game now. Make a flight from Bradley International Airport to San Francisco. Maybe not even we can do the flight that we do to go see the Evergreens, which is usually like Bradley to Minnesota or Minneapolis or Denver or where's the other one? Once we did Fort Worth. Detroit, I think, is also a common one. That's where we become human. And then over to San Francisco. Unfortunately, you can't get a direct flight across the country from Connecticut, really. I become what? Human! You'll see tomorrow. You'll see tomorrow. And OBS seems to be behaving lately. Fuck is a human? We'll see. Yeah. OBS seems to be behaving. Since we did the last stream, we got a new graphics card. And a liquid cooler for our PC. So we shouldn't have any random crashes, in theory. We haven't had any this year. I grew up near Detroit. Interesting. How was that? Yeah, did you become human? We need to test out if the, not auto splitter for Detroit Become Human, but the, like, auto load pauser, load remover works. Because they made one that works with console, which is very cool. You became human, wonderful. We're at just about 2,200 encounters. I was looking into what it would take for me to be able to extract my shiny Mimikyu from this game and put it onto like a legitimate copy of Sun and Moon. And it's like, basically I can't extract it from this game. But I could essentially recreate it in Sun and Moon. Using a PK Hex, which is a save editor. And then trade it through like Pokemon Home. So it wouldn't be Crouton, but also Crouton is just like a couple of lines of code, so it might as well just be Crouton. Couple of lines of code that I love. And that hopefully won't just die on their first on their first battle. Basically, I tried sticking this save into PK Hex or backup of it to see how it would work. What's the end goal? Someone asked for me to add multiplayer back in. It's super wonky when I tried. It was close, though. Interesting. The end goal would just be to have a Pokemon that I'm attached to on a different... on, like, a legitimate cartridge. Multiplayer is very cool, though. I can imagine that would be very difficult. I'm not sure that would be something I personally would be 100% interested in. They were asking for within ROM multiplayer, so only working with this specific game. Going across games is even likely to work. Very odd stuff will likely happen. Yeah. When I put it into PK Hex, it basically didn't understand the idea of, like, even PK Hacks, which is the quote-unquote illegal mode, it didn't understand this is a Gen 3 save, but it has Pokemon not from Gen 3 on it. So in my box, it showed, like, a Charmander with the original name of, like, my Blaziken. And I think, like, a Shuckle, which I never had. It was very strange. Oh boy. 2266. Yeah, those tools won't be able to make any sense of anything that even remotely changes the order of dex numbers. Exactly. It made sense once I did it, that I just didn't understand it, but I was like, oh. And it's so weird because so many people are like, oh yeah, PK Hex will work for ROM hacks. And then I see so many people being like, everyone says that, but it just, like, will not. So that's funny. just save here? 65 hours. Quick girlfriend check. I'm a little sad that the clip of me finding the shiny Mimikyu just has me sitting there silently for like 30 seconds before I find it. I thought I had been talking like immediately before, but no, I was about to say something. Also, we're at 2,300 encounters. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, let's see what a shiny Hisuian Typhlosion looks like. Oh, that's right, it's slightly blue. And Samurott? It's white. Ugh. Big stretch. I think I might bring Altaria instead of Garbodor to the rival fight. It's a better Mega, it has more resistances, it's more powerful. And I already have a fairy, I have another good fairy that I can take to the Elite Four. Martin and Jay were actually talking about the idea of doing a moonshot like relay Nuzlocke. Like we hand it off to a different person for like each gym. I think the idea was that it's 8 people. And then the person who starts is also the person who does the Elite Four. Yeah, I think it would be cool as well. I also want to do another Pokemon Showdown. Because I've been training like Rock Lee about to take off the weights, except I won't almost get beaten to death. Nobody talks about how Rock Lee lost that fight. Better than alternating every move, that would be very funny. And we'd have to figure out like who would be our strongest opener, who's our best mid-game, who's our best closer. And I guess our strongest opener would also have to be the person who could also do the Elite Four. I will admit I'm quite nervous for the Elite Four, due to the fact that I tend to lose a Pokemon on, like, every boss fight. Not everyone. Like, I have had plenty of Deathless ones on this run, but Deathless has become less and less common. Oh my god. Wait. And it's like, I don't want to get to the final battle and have 2 Pokemon. And then I'm just like, fucked. But luckily, if I make it with at least, like, 5 to the final rival fight, I can almost certainly win. Because you can like, sack all your Pokemon to get tempo back. The Elite Four is going to be pretty absurdly hard. It's the peak of the difficulty curve. Makes sense. I mean, it's the final bosses of the game. I'm okay with that. I'm just going to need to train. I'm, like, consulting a lot of people on, like, what my team should be. The game is balanced to be difficult for me in an encounter lock plus hard mode, which is still my favorite way to play. I get to build, invest, get attached to my team. That vibe is basically why I made this ROM. I mean, that makes sense to me. I do like that idea. $2,457. I think for you, the closest it would translate to would be a whiteout counter or something, and set goals of beating your last whiteouts unless you really think you'd never white out. Yeah. Ugh. Ugh. See, like, hard mode is something that I don't really have that much interest in. Because I don't like being at that much of a disadvantage. Like here, I don't consider myself to be at a disadvantage in this game. I feel like I have just as much opportunity as the computer. And in fact, Sylvie was pointing out to me that I have an advantage over the computer inherently, and that is synergy. I can get my Pokemon to work together in my team building, where the computer just literally cannot, by definition. Yeah, normal feels the most fair by definition, yeah. Let me leave, thank you. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, one thing I really didn't like about Run and Button was the fact that, like, you were always the underdog, and not in a way that's ever fun. Like, is it satisfying when you beat the computer as the underdog? Yeah. But the stuff that it takes... Like, every single team is just bullshit. The relock mechanic has an interesting interaction with the Elite Four in that you technically have a party of 6, but that's not something you can anticipate. It's pretty memey, though. That is fun. That is an interesting idea. I could always, if God forbid I wiped to the Elite Four, I could, like, relock it and be like, well, whatever I get, I get. I also have considered, what if I made a B team just in case? We are now at 25-25. So about 1.25 times over odds. I feel like I could potentially see a Zoroark on Agatha's team in the Elite Four. This thing is so annoying. Stop it. I think it's interesting how, like, Mantine has kind of become, like, one of our goats, unintentionally. It's like, we've put it in a lot of battles and kind of expected it to die, but, like, it survived. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh my god. Let me go. Thank you. I really hate that electrode. The human mind is really not good at probability. Like, it's hard to not in my brain go like, well, of course it's taking longer than odds to find a shiny. You got it in 200 last time. When that's not how it works at all. Yeah, what do you mean the world isn't actually ordered and fair and is instead absolutely random? Yeah, probability problems can be so unintuitive. It's because our brain is unfortunately wired to look for patterns. Which is why this collection of pixels looks like a face to us, you know? Oh, so, I talked last time about how we watched Christmas Eve on Sesame Street. In this case, if you count your first shiny, the odds might not be that far off, even if as they were, as you say, RNG. Yeah, true. Because, like, you know, I have encountered a live wild Pokemon before that shiny, so it might actually be, like, about the same. Maybe not, like, 2,000 wild Pokemon, but still. At least, like, 1,200. Because there was all those times when I ran back and forth and, like, got money. Oh, but yeah, so Christmas special, we also watched Elmo Saves Christmas from 1996. So nearly 20 years after the first one. And it's so different in so many ways than Christmas Eve on Sesame Street in terms of, like, pacing, characters, how it's presented, the style of humor. You can just tell that it's a very different era both for Sesame Street and for children's television in general. Like, one interesting thing is that Elmo talks to the camera in a way that, like, they didn't really do in the last one. Where, like, Elmo's like, oh, hello, Elmo is doing this, nice to see you, etc. And it's like, oh, Blue's Clues got here, is what this is. Because Blue's Clues was kind of a landmark show in children's television in that, like, your child is, in a sense, kind of a character in the show. Steve is talking right to you and asking you your opinion and what you, like, see. What do you think is Blue's trying to say? And that was, like, wildly successful. And Steve Burns was named one of the most eligible bachelors by Time Magazine. People Magazine? One of them. But yeah, kids like being engaged with. But the writing is also, like, so much worse overall. And it feels less... It's still sincere, but, like, Christmas Eve on Sesame Street is just so, like, sweet and sincere in a specific way that I can't explain. That, like, Elmo Saves Christmas isn't. Like, Elmo Saves Christmas is, like, a story that you are being told by Maya Angelou, who narrates that special. So Elmo and Lightning flew around the world. And the framing device where she's, like, telling this story, in it, there is Baby Bear, Zoe, and Telly, 3 characters that did not exist in the last special at all. Bert and Ernie are almost not in this one. They have a silent cameo where they walk past a TV that's playing It's a Wonderful Life, and Jimmy Jimmy Stewart is like, Bert, Ernie, what's the matter with you guys? And they like pause and go like, huh? Which is a funny visual gag. The humor also feels less like entire family oriented. The special feels like laser targeted at 4-year-olds, which is fine, you know? Like it's for them. The last one was for children as well. But it felt like, you know, kind of an all ages kind of thing, where this feels like, I don't know. If I didn't have nostalgia, I probably wouldn't have watched it. Anyway, the story is that Elmo wishes that it was Christmas every day. And, it is. And the special is also kind of weirdly capitalism-pilled. Right? Like, one of the main things that's upsetting people about it being Christmas every day is, like, a couple of characters are like, well, we can't open the shop because it's Christmas, and I really want to work. We have to work, but oh well. And, like, everyone's, like, buying presents and Christmas trees for, like, every Christmas. And it's like, guys, you can just be open on Christmas. But on the other hand, you're also based for not being open on Christmas and letting yourself have a break. But they end up, like, shutting down their repair shop as a result. And, like, everyone is, like... Yeah, literally everyone is open on Christmas now, and it sucks. Exactly. And, so much of the little conflicts are about selling too. Where, like, the Easter Bunny shows up on Christmas in spring and is like, how about you buy an Easter... He's played by Harvey Fierstein. Why don't you buy an Easter egg for Christmas? Like, the Easter Bunny doesn't sell eggs. We all know this, right? He hides them. Yeah, he makes you work for them, but you have to find them. You can just have them. Alright, quick girlfriend check. But yeah, I would give that one like a 2.5 out of 5, whereas the other one was closer to like a 3.5. I did appreciate that at the end they did the they brought back the Keep Christmas With You song from the first special. And also, the cutest Muppet on Earth is in that. Let me show you Lightning the Reindeer. Isn't he cute? Look at him. They did such a good job on him. And Sylvie was like, friendship ended with Rudolph. Lightning is now my new best friend. He's so great. Oh, but yeah, one thing, like, that did kind of bother me about the writing and made me really feel like this was for 4-year-olds is that they kept repeating themselves, like, over and over again. Like, Elmo would go into the future and then be like, huh, maybe Christmas every day isn't such a good idea. And then they'd go to the next, like, point in the timeline, and Elmo would end that by being, maybe Christmas every day isn't such a good idea after all. And like, yes, Elmo, we know. You just said. So how many encounters do you guys think it'll take? We're up to 2772. 2773. It's tough because, like, half the Pokemon in this grass I would really rather not have, and then half I would, like, love to have. Like, I really don't want a Weirdeer. I don't even want a normal deer. Decidueye would be fine. Goodra I already have. You know what? I'm gonna move my clock forward because I want there to be a higher chance of me finding a ghost. So it's now 8 p.m. Ah, this grass won't necessarily respect that. Damn. That makes sense. Oh, worth a shot. It'll make me feel better. This encounter pool and just a few others uses a fixed pool. Interesting. We are approaching odds and a half. And let's look at an ADEF video here about like shiny odds. Because there's a formula he uses that I kind of want to see. Unlucky shiny odds.
The odds of finding a for 8,192 encounters. Well, not lie so much as push you in the wrong direction. Just because on likely other encounter to be the shiny one. They're all random and independent. Each roll of my 6
Yeah. Yeah. That's an ad or something. Okay. Oh, that's way too much math.
To find the probability that the nth encounter is the first successful one, that is, it's shiny, you just multiply the probability of one success by the probability of failure raised to the power of all of the unsuccessful attempts.
Okay.
For rolling a die, the probability that the sixth roll is the first successful one for rolling a 4, we do 1 over 6 times 5 over 6 to the 5th power. That gives a result of about 7%. But shiny hunters aren't usually asking what the odds are of getting a shiny on an exact encounter. No. They want to know the probability of the shiny appearing by a certain encounter. Or the opposite question, how unlucky am I if I still haven't seen the shiny by encounter 10,000 or something? To ascertain the probability that you find a shiny on or before a certain encounter number, you do the same equation we just did, but perform a summation on that equation over n from the first trial up to the desired number. Adding the probabilities of each individual case together. You're adding the probability of seeing the shiny on the first encounter to the odds of seeing it on the second and the third and so on up to, say, the 10,000th. To find out how unlucky you are if you still don't have the shiny by 10,000 encounters, you just do 1 minus that result. So let's try this out on my shiny Aeron. I caught the Aeron on encounter 3,967. The probability of catching Aeron on exactly this encounter is 0.008%. But that number isn't super important as it doesn't really tell you much, since each individual encounter is obviously going to be unlikely. Saying, what are the odds that I catch the shiny on exactly encounter 40,000 is really unlikely, as all of them are. The odds of getting the shiny within the first 3,967 encounters, however, is much more statistically interesting. That comes out to 0.38 or...
Oh god, I would need, like, Wolfram Alpha for this. Let's see. Mathematics. Probably calculus and analysis. Where's the summation here? Summation math. How do I do that? Isn't it just 1 minus that attempts? That's to get it on, like, 1 minus... Hang on. Calculator. 2047 slash 2048 equals, and then to the power of 2852. One minus that. 39%? Doesn't seem right. Maybe? Only 39% that I have or have not seen it. I'm not a math person. Unfortunately, I'm a soft science major. Decently confident about that. Okay. They might have been going for a different estimate, true. So I guess maybe it's like the... would be the inverse of that low? Like it's a 60% chance that I would have found it by now? Or a 50-something% chance? If it's 39%? 61% chance? Probability of not getting a shiny is that. Very high odds that you don't. Probability of it happening again is independent, so it just multiplies again and again and again. Okay. Okay. So yeah, that is my probability of not getting it by now. Interesting. So, in short, slightly unlucky. Somewhat unlikely. Or unlucky. I know I looked it up, but what does Sneasler look like as a shiny? Oh, it's gold. The golden Sneasler. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Normalized odds because I have kind of done 2 shiny hunts. Well, there you have it. And there you have it. We gotta get our soundboard working for tomorrow. And we should try and get our splits. What's the Detroit game about? So the Detroit Become Human game, that is a like choice-based game, story game about a future where there are like sentient androids as kind of a second class citizens, more or less. And it's about the robot revolution, basically. You follow 3 different characters. One who is like leading the robot revolution, one who is like investigating why all these androids are all of a sudden like breaking their programming, and one who is a robot who has broken her programming and rescued the daughter of her owner's rescued the daughter of her owner from her abusive owner. And the game branches significantly depending on your choices, to the point where, like, in order to get every ending in this 100% speedrun, you have to go through the final level like 48 times or something like that. The entire 100% speedrun takes roughly 60 hours to do. Claudia did it last year. It took her 63 hours without loading. We do get breaks. Up until the 30-hour mark, you get 3 up to 9-hour breaks without penalty. And then every 10 hours after that, you get an additional break. In, like, your break pool, I guess. Why is it called Detroit Become Human and not just Become Human? Because it takes place in Detroit. And I believe it takes place in Detroit because Detroit is, you know, historically in a city of industry. But I don't know, you would have to ask David Cage. But yeah, it's gonna be like 5 days of streaming, like 10 hours a day at least. Probably closer to like 14. And we're gonna have fun. Claudia will lose her mind. There will be a lot of running jokes that she does just to keep herself amused. Last year, she did a lot of bits of what if Seinfeld took place in the world of Detroit Become Human. I went on a date with this girl last night, Jerry. And it turns out she's a deviant android. What, you couldn't tell? No, she ripped out her little light thing. What are you gonna do? I don't know. Kind of attractive, isn't it? She broke her programming, Jerry. I'm not as good at it as Claudia. Yeah, it's still a bit odd. To have it be Detroit, but still. That feels like a thing you shouldn't just be able to rip out. Have you played any of the Life is Strange games? Yes. We've played Life is Strange, Before the Storm, and True Colors. We played the first chapter of Life is Strange 2 and found it too depressing to continue, which is saying something. Yeah, Claudia did this run last year. Oh my god, can I... There we go. Claudia is a machine. She's the real robot here. It's funny, because in the, like, Quantic Dream speedrunning Discord, after she got done last year, somebody pointed out something that she had missed. And, she was like, oh, well, there's always next time. And someone was like, those are the... Next time are the two scariest words that a 100% speedrunner can say. When we told the Evergreens that we were doing it again, they said this is like when somebody gets pregnant for a second time because they've forgotten how painful the first birth was. Sylvie will be commiserating with the Evergreens for 5 days because I will not be fronting, when Sylvie and I normally talk, like, basically every night. We do, like, a little bedtime check-in. Usually while I dilate, but I've been lazy about that lately. Still maintaining depth. Let me reset my clock here since the encounter pool is fixed. And I looked at the clock and I was like, oh my god, is it 8 p.m.? Yeah, I'm at a point where I'm allowed to be more lazy with it. Exactly. The first, like, 3 months are the most important. You know, at my 6-month checkup, I did mention, like, I do try to do twice a day, but there are often times where I'm, like, too lazy or tired to do it twice a day, so I do it once. And the nurse practitioner basically shrugged and said you've maintained full depth, so it's fine. Yeah, nurse practitioners are great. We haven't seen our surgeon since the surgery, either one. And frankly, we don't really care. We don't really have a relationship with either of them. Whereas we have very positive relationships with the nurse practitioners. At our 6-month checkup, we actually like got to ramble to our nurse practitioner about DID for like 20 minutes while she was doing some taking care of some granulation. Yeah, best of doctors and nurses, because they actually have time to interact and listen to their patients. It came up in the way that it normally comes up now, which is that somebody asks, when we say that we're a psych major and we're looking to go into private practice, they ask what we want to specialize in. And we say our little script that we have now, which is like, you know, of course, gay people, trans people, poly people, but really I want to specialize in people with dissociative identity disorder, formerly called multiple personality disorder. It's a really underserved group, and it's severely undertaught. And the nurse practitioner was like, she asked us like questions about it. She was like, you know, we have a few patients with DID. I'm like, I would bet more than a few, quite frankly, and also I'm not surprised that you have a few that are like openly plural because you deal with trans women. Trans people generally, but I think a lot of their clientele is trans women. And she asked like if there were any misconceptions, and she was like, I know it's like more common than people think. And we were like, yes, in fact, that's a common misconception. It is way more common than people think. According to Kate et al. 2020, they did a meta-analysis of 98 studies of the prevalence of dissociative disorders on college campuses. And that found that across those studies, like 3.7% of those students qualified for like the medical criteria of DID, and like 4.6 or something like that qualified for OSDD. Meaning that like essentially 1 in 12 people meets the medical criteria to be considered plural. It's a lot of people, yeah. Which is funny because we were saying that essentially based on vibes for years before we found that study, and it was so validating to be like, you know, we've been saying we probably think that like 1 in 10 people are plural, and then what do you know, 1 in 12 people are plural. According to that study, and that's just like medical criteria. Too lazy to construct a joke about how plurals are so many people and that's a lot of people, yeah. Really, if you count individual system members, we outnumber singlets in all likelihood. Really hope I don't get Avalug. It might be useful for the ice gym or whatever, but you know. At this point, I would probably settle for Arcanine. What about Braviary? I also note that the music stopped. I might put on Sand and Unlovable Sandler in a moment. Just so we can review about Happy Gilmore. Ooh, the shiny for Hisuian Braviary is great. It's like black with like bright blue feathers on the front. Great shiny. Hello. And welcome back to Into the Sandlerverse, Sand and Unlovable Sandler with Oak and V. I'm Oak.
I'm V.
V, would you like to take it away?
I am trying.
Song, original.
Original, do not copy.
Do not steal. Yeah. Maybe we'll do that in a little bit. I feel like I have more to talk about right now. Oh, hang on. And we are at officially 3,100 encounters. It's 4 p.m. How long have we been going? About 3 hours? So, 15 hours in game almost? Plus, like, the hour/5 hours we did last time. So this is maybe like a 25-hour search right now. In-game. Yeah, shiny hunting is no joke. In typical shiny hunting, we would not even be at half odds right now. But yeah, I don't know. We're always out here saying that plural people are already out here. You already know us. We are already in your lives. Whether you know it or not, or whether we know it or not, quite frankly. We've had, I forget if it's 2 or 3 people we know, like, have a plural discovery this year. And what's nice is that, like, all of those people went to us first for support. Hey, can I leave? Thank you. And it feels good to do that, because in the beginning, we did not have somebody like that, really. We had a, we kind of had a plural mentor who helped us through, like, the initial discovery and talking it out. But we were kind of on our own after that. The biggest support that we had was just, like, was mostly YouTube. The ring system, their channel was so, like, validating for us. And I'm glad that we became friends. That's one of our talents, by the way, turning parasocial relationships into actual relationships, because we were fans of the ring system before we were friends. And now they're siblings to us. Quite frankly. Like, in conversation with other people, they refer to us as their sister, which is cute. The first time they said that, it, like, melted our heart. Because they were like, They were saying how they went on a date with somebody at the condo complex where Nicole used to live. And because the rings had been over there one time when we were cat sitting for Nicole. And they said, like, they had said to that person, oh, my sister has a friend who lives here, or lived here. And we went, sister? Have we mentioned that Nicole is back in our life again? That she responded to us and gave a very sincere apology and wants to work to build trust with us again? And has done a lot of work on herself and is in a much better mental place. She is like the happiest we have ever seen her. Like, there is a lightness in her voice and in her, like, texting and stuff that, like, we have known Nicole for 12 years, and we have literally never seen her like this. Yeah, we're happy to hear that too. Oops. Check out those odds again. Get the calculator up. There we go. Okay, 1 minus parentheses 2047. How many has it been? It is now 3,205. Raised to 3205. No, that did that wrong. Why isn't it doing it right? Oh, because I hit squared. Why did it do that wrong? Basically, there's an 80% chance that I would have gotten it by now. Oh, 63%, huh? Oh, the at odds chance you have seen one is actually only 63%. Yeah. I mean, the odds of us seeing it are getting larger, essentially. Kind of, not really. Hang on, I think we got a message. Somebody in the Detroit Become Human speedrun server said, Jesus, good luck. Well, they said, Jesus, GL, GL, GL. Which, you know, we could use it. Feeling that way about it too. You know, it's really funny to do it the first time. It's even funnier to do it a second time. Claudia posted this on Blue Sky, but she was telling her therapist why we wouldn't be in therapy next week. Not that she ever needs a reason. But she was like, she was like, now that I'm about to say it to my therapist, it does sound like a cry for help, but I'm going to be doing a 5-day, like 60-hour speedrun where I'm going to be streaming for like 14 hours a day. And our therapist laughed and said she approved. Is it funnier, though? I think it is. Yeah, if the therapist approves, it must be fine. We trust that woman with our life. She has literally never steered us wrong. She's the reason we went back to school, so obviously, if she thinks that we should do the 60-hour Detroit Become Human 100% speedrun, then we should. What things do you think that we will notice this time about the game? Like how we noticed how that one robot is just like always suggesting that they die for the cause. I think Claudia is going to notice more background stuff, yeah. We've occasionally gone back and looked at, like, little clips from that run. And one that sticks out in my mind is that somebody in the chat asked if we thought that you could play Doom on the androids, and Claudia was like, "Oh yeah, for sure," and then pointed out one of the like one of the androids in the background of like an important scene, and she was like, "That guy's clearly playing Doom right now. He's not paying attention. He's got the revolution in the second monitor." Oh my god, let me go. Is second monitor for androids just their second eye? Maybe. I think it's like, they've got like a screen up in their vision, and then everything else is in the background. It's like the Apple Pro thing, the goggles. Apple Vision Pro, that's it. Also for the splits this here, Claudia is going to do it by like not individual like level, but by like broad sections of like, here's the intro level. Here is where we just play the game straight through. Here is the gauntlet of Battle for Detroit. It really says something that like the entire second day of that speedrun is Battle for Detroit. And 3 hours of that is sitting through credits. Probably, maybe even closer to 5 hours with the ending cutscenes. Does human ever become Detroit? I think we all kind of become the places where we live in a way. I think quite literally has to show up at some point. Can you tell I don't want to be working today? Based. It's the day after Christmas. Nobody's getting anything done. Mr. Scrooge, what's the point of being open? You'll have nobody to do business with. Technically, I'm new, so I wasn't getting anything done anyway. Well, congrats on your new job. I don't know what you said, but you somehow set off my Google Home to play. Oh, sorry. To play Where You Are from the Moana soundtrack. How is that possible? How do I keep setting off your home? I mean, at least it's a good song. I think the device just has a crush on you. So true. Most people do. People includes robots, of course, as we will learn over the next 5 days starting tomorrow. Trying to say something / communicate through the song selections. So we're going out to see the Evergreens again at the end of January. And actually, we finished our CV, so we should send off our grad school applications today. Oh my god, I never responded to B. I need to email her. Oh my god. Thank you. Oh, big stretch. Yeah, both exciting things. Okay, this is officially our 3,400th encounter. Who voice, where are you shining? Why can't we find you? Some easy, smooth bossa nova. What does the shiny white weird deer look like? Let's take that. I went to grad school as well, mixed emotions from it. Got to travel a lot though, that's very cool. What'd you get your degree in, if I may ask? It is gold. Computer science / computer vision. Very cool. Oh boy. We should probably put the back support thing back on our chair. We took it off after bottom surgery because we had the like cushion and couldn't really fit both comfortably. I think that might be better for our back for this run. Yeah, we need all the support we can get. You know, it's funny, yesterday we were watching the new Big Joel video about quote-unquote Netflix Christmas slop, and there were like a couple of times where we recognized random actors, and we were like, what the hell were they in that we've seen? They look so familiar. And there was one guy that we felt like that about, and it turns out that he was in a single episode of the United States of Terra, which we've seen like 5 or 6 times all the way through. We have like a 30-page script for a video on it that we haven't finished. We'll get back to that one day. Our opinions have changed a lot since we watched it 5 years ago. Any encounter now. I'll remember why we're doing this. We want a really good Pokemon for the Elite Four, or for a rival fight, either way. Give it up for encounter 3500, by the way. We're now at only an 18% chance that we have not found it by now. And in a way, you know, maybe this is getting out our bad luck. Yeah, I'm exercising the bad luck so that Claudia has the best luck. I mean, by double odds, I think it's at like a 99% chance of having seen it. Something like that. $40.96, I think it is. Oh no, it's actually only an 87% chance. Oh my god, just let me leave. Thank you. I should really make the shiny charm no quest reward. Maybe? I was thinking about that, but it's like... the odds are already lowered. And I already kind of feel like I'm, like, trying to game the system a little bit. Even though this is perfectly legitimate to do. And is honestly taking a lot more time than it would to just plan a better team. Or plan like a decent synergized team. Yeah, if I did that, I'd increase the base odds again. And I'd rather keep it at 2048. That seems like... that kind of feels like I have a shiny charm already. Yeah, it makes sense as an award right before the Elite Four and behind a tedious wall. Let me go to the bathroom real quick. I will be right back. We're back. I mean, luckily I'm doing, like, I think like 700 encounters an hour. I really feel like I'm going to end up with like a weird, oh, weird deer. What deer? Why deer? Weird deer? Oh my god. Can't escape. Come on. Thank you. Oh my god. Show me what the Hisuian quillfish looks like. Quillfish. It is, like, gray. Alright. Good to know. The Sneasler. How do you pronounce Hablaba? Like that. That's one of the very strange ones the game gave me. up, Mads? Hey, sweeties.
Hi.
How was your day?
Alright, yours?
It's been fine. Shiny hunting. I'm at 3,662 encounters.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but luckily I can get like 700 in an hour because I'm at 5 times speed.
Oh, good.
What'd I get?
Letter.
Oh. It's from Audrey Moonshot.
Google name.
Yeah, it's very cute. I'm not gonna show it on stream because it has their kids in it. Please know it's very cute. I probably just gave up writing them at that point when you put in Hablaba. Yeah, that makes sense. That it does feel in line with the one I got that was like humongous. And his miss. Marry his miss. I mean, you have like, what, 20,000 nicknames in here? I would also give up writing them at some point. There would definitely be a nickname in there that's like QWERTY or just, you know, go down the keyboard. Midway between 2,000 and 3,000. Okay, that makes sense. That is still a lot. Let me leave. Thank you. $3,700. But the dopamine when we get it is going to go crazy in my brain. Especially if it's good. I'm also approaching the mentality of I will take anything. Except Wordeer. The only deer I am friends with is Lightning from Elmo Saves Christmas.
Are yours closed?
No, but that can be. Hang on. I hate the sound of styrofoam. Am I good?
Almost.
Thank you.
Welcome.
These headphones are not soundproof. Oh boy. It's so funny that my brain is like, maybe like the seed is broken and needs to be reset or something. And that makes no goddamn sense. But guess what? I'm gonna reset the emulation anyway. Surely that'll do it. Do people have favorite, like, shiny variants? Or, like, shiny sprites? Colorings or whatever? I need something shiny near me, IRL. Hang on. One sec. Shiny. Good suggestion. Thank you.
Welcome. Wish me luck.
Good luck. Gyarados is a pretty classic shiny from a nostalgia standpoint. Very true. I gotta say, I love the Palisand shiny where it's like black sand. Sylveon, of course, where it's like inverted. Yeah, it is cool, right? Hey. Da, 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 da. Who beeps? Someone beeping outside. Whoops. Well. There we go. And we're better. Need my own shiny charm in real life. Three and a half hours. And we are rapidly approaching double odds. I may call it for today when we hit double odds. We'll see. What a world we live in. What did we catch here originally? I don't think it was Gudra, because I think we caught Gudra in the cave. I'll know it when I see it. Oh, you know what? We got Lilligant originally. And then it died immediately. Double odds also relates to E, as in 1 minus 1 over E to the second, or squared. You can blame E for everything. I will, thank you. This is the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. I did not think I would have the patience to sit here for 4,000 encounters, but you know what? I do. Turns out I have this type of autism. Oh my god. Okay, let's see Gudra and Decidui. Decidui and Gudra has a, like, golden shell thing. Golden tail. And Decidui... Decidui and Decidui is, like, green. It's kind of close to its original look. You know, I was trying to find out how many trainers you actually have to fight on Victory Road, and I couldn't get a clear answer. So I want to fight as few of them as possible, as per usual. Hello, Niels. You didn't miss anything. We are approaching double odds. I was saying that I don't know how many trainers you actually have to fight on Victory Road, and I couldn't get a clear answer. Niels, did your family like the gifts you knit? Yeah, they're all basically ace, so very tough. Yeah. I was wondering how you were handling Victory Road. I will try and fight as few as possible. In-laws Christmas is tomorrow, I see. Mom loves her scarf. That was never in doubt. Cute. Hey, boy. Alright, we are on encounter 4009. Love to be on that 4,000 plus grind set. So true. There you go. I think Mads is out there talking to our neighbor. Okay, we've got like 60 to go, and then we're going to call it for today. Or at least for now. I don't think I'm gonna put more music back on. Uh, I'm still not over the fact at how useless Archeops' ability is. Not even, it's less than worthless. It's actively detrimental. No wonder you're extinct. Yeah, who would ever want to use it? Wait, is it defeatist? Yeah. At a less than half HP, it cuts its attack in half. Being defeatist about it, boo. You know what? I truly am. And you know what? So is Archeops, because it died. $40.76. Defeatist would have been funny if it was called the Old Man Pokemon. Because of the Guess I'll Die Old Man meme. Very true. And that's double odds. Let's get to 4,100 here, just to round it out. And 4,100. And 1. Alright, that's going to be it for right now. I am hungry. I still technically need to dilate today. Alright. Thanks for gaming. We'll get it next time. Tomorrow around noon, let's say. Claudia will start going live with Detroit Become Human 100% speedrun. And that will be going through New Year's Eve in all likelihood. Yep. Alright. Good night, everyone.